Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor, for being with us. We got a whole bunch of questions we decided we wanted to ask you, but there's so many things we can ask you. We actually sent out the memos to our audience and some of the questions they wanted to ask you. And Mark's got those.
Okay, well, we'll try some of those. Okay.
Yeah, I'll start with one. What first kicked off your love of science? Was there a particular person as well that inspired you?
Well, there's a lot of factors, but first of all, my mother wanted me to be a doctor, as I think I said the other night. But unfortunately, she made the mistake of telling me doctors were scientists, and so I got interested in science. Then by the time it was high school, I suddenly realized being a doctor wasn't being a scientist. But by then, I sort of fell in love with science. But also, when I was young, I read books about scientists and by scientists.
Okay.
So I read books. I remember I read when I was 10 or 11 a book about Galileo, and it really got me excited. And then I read books by George Gamow and Albert Einstein, and that's one of the reasons why I write books now, is to return the favor. So.
How would you encourage the younger generation to be more enthusiastic about science?
I'd hold it over. Oh no, it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see. I think that you make it cool. You make it fun. You don't. First of all, let me make it clear: the younger generation is already enthusiastic about science when it comes to being really young. All kids are born scientists. So what we do is we beat it out of them, and then we just got to stop beating it out of them. We got to have teachers who are comfortable teaching science, so the kids can learn it's not something to be uncomfortable about. We got to have, and they can, in particular, we can encourage them to ask questions rather than have answers. So the more important thing in education is to get teachers encouraging kids to ask questions and to ask questions themselves and say, let's figure out how to answer it. And finally, we should be really enthusiastic about saying, I don't know. Instead of convincing kids that it's all known and it's something you have to memorize. But we don't know it, and they might be able to discover how to do it. Okay?
Jamie, you got a question?
Yeah,
even
just
though it's not
in
part of the podcast, we'll let her do it.
Just in relation to that, I did watch Richard Dawkins a couple of years ago on some YouTube video had said that in response to Feynman's quote of science or physics at any rate is harder than we can imagine. That quote, but he had indicated that there may be a way to start with children very young with video games and showing them different ways to get them kind of more comfortable with it and with just the idea of it, so that it wasn't such a hard thing to grasp.
It's true that the younger we present kids with things, the more intuitively comfortable they are with it, which is, by the way, and I wasn't being facetious, I really think it's important, we make a mistake in schools in teaching science in the order of biology, chemistry, then physics. Because some people think that people are more comfortable with biology because it's frogs and things like that, and physics is further away. But the problem is it teaches science the wrong way around, because, as I said, the principles of biology are based on chemistry, the principles of chemistry are based on physics. So when you learn it in biology, it appears as a bunch of facts, and that's not science.
So is there anything out there that, as a parent, that I can sort of direct my children in that direction? Are you looking to make
lots of science. Well, I should write a children's book once, but there are people. My friend Lucy Hawking has written, and Stephen and I've written part of it, a bunch of kids' books about physics and astronomy. There are games. Richard's book at an older level, which I have to say I helped him with a lot at the Magic Reality and the non-biology part. Is one, and it has an app associated with it, with games that you can play. So, but I mean, kids should, I think it's really important to make science enjoyable, but they shouldn't think it's just fun. That's part of my problem. Science museums are great, and I've worked in them, because they are fun, but it's more than just fun. But if we just start getting them to realize it's fun, and it's something you could be comfortable with, that's a big start. Okay.
I've got a question from my Muslim friend.
Okay.
He was asking if electrons could be anywhere, they have the possibility of being pretty much anywhere at the same time. Doesn't that kind of open the door to miracles?
No, because quantum mechanics tells us specifically what the probabilities are of finding a given electron in any given place. And if you do 100 different experiments, you'll find out that 90% of the time it's here, 10% of the time it's there. And the theory tells us what that is. So there's no room for that. It's very predictive. It's an incredibly predictive theory, predictive in a probabilistic sense. So that's different than classical mechanics. But predicting the probabilities can be verified by doing many experiments. Okay. One last one.
Okay, what keeps you motivated to do these kind of events? You're always so approachable at them.
Yes.
You're willing to go up and speak to everybody, and you're so up for them. What keeps you motivated?
Well, people, I don't know. People appreciate it, I think, and I think it's important. And I feel fortunate to be in a position where people both know me and appreciate what I do, and so I feel that I take that responsibility kind of seriously. I think I'm in a very lucky position. It would be a shame if I didn't utilize that. So I view it as a privilege more than an honor, more than anything. So
We all appreciate that.
Absolutely. How many pairs of Converse do you have, Professor?
I haven't
I
counted.
had to wear
but
mine today.
I have them in there. To my last ones. These were I just bought this week. Probably 22.
That's all. Professor Krauss, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You take care.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. You take care.